offensive line with leverage, good blocking angles, taking on a stacked defensive front. And once they chopped that little hole in the beginning, he took it and rambled.
And just the third play from scrimmage, wanted to avoid the 3-and-out and did just that. On first down, going back to Patterson. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42. The Cowboys at 8-2 on the year. And they come in as a team that looks like a well-oiled machine getting ready for the postseason. Winners at 8 of their last 10.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
2nd and 5 now. Prescott. He finds his man, complete. That's Ferguson. And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days, but you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
Shoves him aside, and he gets us down inside the 35 before going out of bounds. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
They did tell us they wanted to establish the ground game early, didn't they?
They did, and a small sample size that we've seen so far, but pretty good return.
Yeah, you got to like that. They've strung together a couple of first downs, established what they wanted, the running game. And guess what? They also got their lead guy running it pretty well, too.
First down, Prescott. That's going to be caught by C.J. Board. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. Now, these two teams, you might recall, met up back in September in Week 3. And it was the Cowboys winning on the road, so they look for the sweep here back home in Arlington. Give to Patterson, running to the right. Oh, a nifty juke there.
Not much fun for a guy trying to tackle him.
And out of bounds all the way down at the 3. 53 yards rushing for him as he's got the afternoon off to a great start. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation? We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early. Patterson. Going to be stopped before he can get moving forward as he'll lose a couple back to the 5-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense. Back at the 5-yard line now, 2nd and goal. To throw is Prescott. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. It's been a good opening drive offensively thus far, but you know they don't want to waste it and settle for a field goal attempt after that incompletion. So this is a big play coming up here on 3rd down. This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal? Trying to run it with Patterson. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Cowboys. Cordero Patterson. His 8th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Cowboys will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. Extra point right down the middle. And that makes the score 7-0. The kick team out there for the Cowboys as they run up to send this one away. They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone.
And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. Jones and the Giants now with a 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line. They'll start out on the ground. It's Saquon Barkley. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. And, Charles, you wonder about this defense coming in. I mean, look, it's no secret they're playing a team that's down on its luck right now. Losers of 5 straight. How does that change how you prepare for a game?
Well, to me, the first thought is you just get after them early, right? Take away any chance of them building any confidence. But the second thing is you prepare a little bit differently. You've got to expect this team to take chances, go for it on 3rd and 4th downs, run a lot of trick plays, anything to try and break their losing streak. So you must stay alert and stay aware.
Now this pass into the hands of Saquon Barkley. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets this football out shy of the 30 to the 29. 10 yards, good for a Giant first down.
Well, they use him a lot out of the backfield. He had 5 catches a week ago, and he makes another catch here for good yardage.
A first down carry for Barkley. Oh, he bowls over it.
Yeah, this will be a Giants first down as he'll get this up to about the 42.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and put the defense back on its heels.
They keep it with Barkley on first down. And after the good gain last play, this time they say, as he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
Neville Gallimore showing off a bit on that nice stop.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on 1st and 2nd down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports.
Behind the chain, 2nd and 12.
They'll run it again with Barkley. Stopped up shy of the 45 despite some pretty powerful running. 4 yards on the pickup there, and now they're left with a 3rd and 8.
You know, thinking of this Thanksgiving Day game, Charles, for years we've heard the talk, why don't we open up these Thanksgiving Day games instead of just being Detroit and Dallas every year, give other teams a shot to host? I know you're kind of like me, a bit of a traditionalist, but what do you have to say to that, CD?
I think it's a great argument, and the league could support it quite well, where you could move games to different spots and still be very successful on Thanksgiving Day. But you're exactly right. I am a traditionalist. I really don't want Detroit and Dallas to give them those slots. I like the fact that we watch them each and every year. But what I really like is that the league added a 3rd game in 2006. And usually it's division rivals, but that's the 3rd one of the day, and it caps off a great day of football.
Officially, that'll be marked down as just a 28-yard punt. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive.
They're riding a 2-game winning streak into this Thursday nighter. How easy is it when you're on a roll to stay on a roll given the quick turnaround?
Well, you would think it'd be pretty easy because everyone's locked in practice and meetings because everyone feels good about themselves. And for coaches, this is where they have to tell themselves, don't add too much. Don't worry about game plans as much as players. So look at your play sheet and think, give it to the guys who play best, and don't worry about the rest of it.
Play action now. Prescott. This one caught by Kittle.
And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield.
Good job there of getting his tight end involved because he lines up on the right side of the formation, just works his way across the field. I really like how they were in sync on that one. He spotted the open gap in the zone, and his quarterback found him, and they get a first down.
Running the jet sweep as Prescott backs it forward.
That's a nice job there defensively, being able to diagnose that little touch pass. They saw it coming, converged on him before he could get much out of it.
From the 45 on second down. Prescott, he finds his man, complete. It's Ferguson. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41.
I like the design of that play, or shall I say the way it ended up. Quarterback ends up to the right side. You know, he gets outside of the pocket. How about the tight end staying in his sight line and getting to that same part of the field, and they find each other for the completion.
The Cowboys on third down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. Here it's 3rd and 2. Prescott off play action. And able to haul it in is Kittle. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Giants' 25-yard line. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue. Here's the first carry for Tariq Cohen. And he'll get it down inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3.
On second down, a run with Patterson.
And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7.
68 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here in this first half.
His first carry of their second drive, pretty solid. And, of course, remember back to their first drive, really strong throughout that one.
Not only is he getting good blocking up front, but how about his vision to find the holes? And he's seeing things before they even open and hurdling through them.
Oh, they're going to run a little pop pass here.
And he will score. Touchdown, Cowboys. Tariq Cohen, his 4th touchdown on the year.
And the Cowboys go up by 2 touchdowns.
Point after, right down the middle. And it's now 14-0. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
And we see James. He will not return it, and they'll bring it out to the 25.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive.
And they, almost to a man, told us how excited they are to be playing in this traditional Thanksgiving game. But we have to remember, this is a team that lost on Sunday. Now they get a very quick turnaround to play again. How difficult is that to do?
It's difficult under any normal circumstance when you're coming off of a loss and you have a quick turnaround. The first thing is to put the loss behind you and move forward. But when you play on Thanksgiving Day, everyone's watching you. It's an added bonus, though, because now you put the loss behind you. Get that taste out of your mouth, because the taste you want is victory, turkey, and pumpkin pie.
After the penalty, they go with Barkley. And a short gain across the 15 to the 17-yard line.
Second quarter action with 1:59 remaining. Second down, here's Barkley again.
And he roams across the 20 to the 24-yard line.
Okay, he didn't break that one all the way, but you got to know that he feels like he's right on the verge, and that's probably exactly what he's telling them in the huddle right now.
And the Cowboys here on third down, bringing in an extra defensive back. They'll go to Barkley again. And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means fourth down.
Another down on the scoreboard, but the urge to go for it is almost irresistible here on fourth and short. Yeah, I know they're on their own side of the field.
I was going to say.
Normally I would say punt the ball away, but I'm feeling it. I say go for it.
They're going to try and throw. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And Dallas, they'll take over in terrific field position. A first down throw for Prescott.
He finds Kittle going across the field.
And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. That one good for 17 yards, and now they've got it first and goal.
How about the way they're moving the ball down the field? They had a big play a moment ago, followed it up with another nice one here, and before you know it, they're already looking at first and goal.
They scored touchdowns on drives 1 and 2, and now they're trying to make it a perfect 3 for 3 to start. They'll run with Patterson.
And he will fight his way into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Cordero Patterson on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns.
And the Cowboys will extend their lead in the final minute of the half.
Extra point splits the uprights, and it's now 21-0. The kick team out there for the Cowboys as they run up to send this one away. And he is out of bounds here on the return.
I believe they buzzed down. They're going to take another look at this play with all reviews coming from the replay official here in the final 2 minutes of the half.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive.
I don't think they need to be reminded of the situation here. I mean, the clock is dwindling. 3-score deficit waiting for them at halftime unless they can get something on the board here before intermission.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
I think they want to start getting back into this game. It behooves them to get better on first down.
Yeah, certainly not what they were looking for there out of the opening play of this drive. They'll keep it on the ground again here. And he'll push forward here for a good little run as the clock continues to run. The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down.
Once again, they'll keep it on the ground. And he's going to have a first down, but not sure it'll matter as the clock will continue to run. Now another timeout called for by the offense. So that means they're down to one remaining here as we head toward halftime. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Again, it's Barkley. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. Now a signal and a timeout call as it comes with 9 seconds to go in this first half of play.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground. But I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
So we've hit halftime on Turkey Day here in Dallas. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. The Giants set to get the football, and they trail here as we get back underway in the second half. And we will not have a run back here as the second half starts with a touchback. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. Well, they look up at the scoreboard facing that deficit. A 3-score game, Charles, but look, there's plenty of time to go here. The old football cliche that comes to my mind is you can't get it all back at once. They probably need something, though, out of this drive, at least 3 points.
Are you trying to say that there's no 3-score drive on that play sheet for any of those coordinators? They just don't have it, right? You're trying to get it all back. You know you can't get it back in one drive, but maybe cut into it a little bit as you just suggested. Try and create a little bit of momentum, a little bit of a spark, and then maybe that'll carry over.
From the 27, Jones. And the Cowboys pressure gets there this time for the sack. Dante Fowler. He's the one that got home and takes him down for a loss of 9. If you want a lesson on how to defeat an offensive tackle, that was pretty textbook.
Is that a clip and save?
Yes.
That's what's going to go around the league, and people are going to watch that and say, my goodness, that's how you do it? And I feel awful for the offensive tackle because we always talk about the athleticism of that guy who just beat him.
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Leighton Vander Esch. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line.
Well, I think everyone who's watching was certainly hoping to see things get a little bit better for them in this half, weren't we? But it was a downright miserable first half. This carried over with an interception to begin the second half. That's a defeated offense right there, and there's still a lot of game left. I don't think that's the last turnover we're going to see today, partner.
Man open is board. It's complete. And he's going to be taken down at about the 33.
A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4 at the 33-yard line.
2nd and 4. Quick throw, and it's caught by Gallup. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. A Cowboy first down there. Prescott to Gallup. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. He can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
So 8 yards on the completion there, and they'll be left with 2nd and a couple.
A jet sweep. Here's Tolbert. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Jalen Tolbert scampering home from 19 yards out as his guys have opened up a very comfortable lead. So they're able to capitalize there on the short field, and that might prove to be the score that turns out the lights.
The party's over. Oh, sorry about that. That's an old reference there, folks. But, yeah, they've been the better of the two teams by far, and that's great complimentary football right there. Defense gets the turnover, sets up the short field, and the offense goes right out and scores to open up a pretty sizable lead.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And we see James. He will not return it, and they'll bring it out to the 25. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here, maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that, because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher third down looming.
You've got to figure the further they fall behind, the more you think that they'll get away from the run. They're trying to stick with it, but the results, they just aren't there.
And on third down, the Cowboys bring in an extra defensive back. Throwing, Jones. Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Cowboy defense has a touchdown. Extra point attempt to follow here. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And we see James. He will not return it, and they'll bring it out to the 25. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
The 22 more yards there and another first down. Well, the margin on that scoreboard, obviously for them, it looks daunting. But I don't know, Charles. They're probably not focused on that right now. Maybe just chaining together a positive drive with plays like we just saw, giving themselves something to build on.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. And what they have to be careful of is getting glued to that scoreboard trying to do too much. Because if you do that, you're all but guaranteed to start making mistakes. Just focus on one play at a time and make each one successful.
62 yards rushing for him now to this point. 6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Jones with a handoff to Barkley. And he'll take this down just shy of the 25-yard line. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a third down.
But that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
Now Jones. Being chased out left. That's complete. He's got Barkley out of the backfield. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. This will wind up a loss on the play, and that'll bring up fourth down.
Well, Brandon, we could see that play developing, and they were hoping that he was going to be able to put a move on the first guy and turn it into a big play. But no such luck. The speed on defense continues to get better and better in the NFL. Pretty nice example there of those guys being able to run from their assignments and finish off that play.
We're on to the fourth here on Thanksgiving Day. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. And we'll begin it with a field goal try here. He'll have the win at his back here in the fourth quarter. Gano's kick is good. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
And they've got it. They recovered it. They hang on now, though. There's a penalty flag down. Well, CD, you understand. I mean, they're so eager trying to get back in this game here in the fourth quarter, but they touched that one a little too early before it went 10 yards.
Brandon, in such a high-stakes scenario, everyone's feeling the pressure on this play. The special teams coordinator, which one is he going to pick in terms of kicks? Can the kicker execute it? Can the team wait for 10 yards? So many variables, and in this case, they didn't get it done.
Off the play fake, Prescott. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked up by the USC man, Adoree Jackson. And the Giants are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big as we continue on now here in this fourth quarter. And, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. This run defense has been pretty stout all game long. Now you're here in the fourth quarter. Should rely more on the passing attack?
I don't think you have any choice, and I don't think you have to dress it up at all either. Throughout the first 3 quarters, you're still trying to convince the defense that you may run the football. That's out the window right now. Protect, let your quarterback operate, and try and find some targets in the open field downfield.
And Jones will hit the deck here, and he is able to pick up the first down. A solid gain of 15 yards, and the sticks move.
It hasn't been the cleanest game for him, but there was a sign of improvement as he looks towards the next one. Nice bit of scrambling to move the sticks, and even more importantly, he didn't risk adding another interception to his ledger.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Barkley, inside handoff. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw.
Oh, and Jones has just thrown his 3rd interception.
Darius Slay with a pick. And it's a huge return as he brings us all the way back down to the 15-yard line.
But with this advantage, this defense knew that passes were coming, and they stayed in position, Charles, and picked one off here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, what a way to cap things off, huh? Because I think this is part of the game within the game. They see the scoreboard, they see what they can accomplish, and they went for it.
Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive.
And the Cowboys are looking at 1st and goal as he's tackled all the way down at the 2-yard line. Partner, I know we're still in the afternoon slate here. Some primetime games still on the docket, but it's going to be tough to top this effort. What an offensive performance we have seen. They have been unstoppable from the moment we began this game, and they're not holding back. They're still throwing the football here in the 4th.
They certainly are, and let me tell you something. If you're old school, you don't like this at all. But in today's football, you just go ahead and savor it. Watch a team execute at a high level. Doesn't matter what the scoreboard says.
Flush to his right. And he just throws this one away. Smart decision here this close to the end zone, and it brings up 2nd down.
The CD, they're up big, but they're still passing it. I mean, this is an offense that's had a lot of success in this game, and it seems like they're just having fun out there.
And it does feel like there's been a shift out there, doesn't it, partner? Listen, if you're up, you can continue to do what you want to do. It's up to the other team to make you change how you do things. They'll continue to throw it around until stopped.
2nd and goal, and they will try again from the 2-yard line.
The jet sweep. Here's Tolbert.
And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. And give him 2 yards officially, and now it'll be 3rd and goal.
Defensively, they had that one pretty well figured out.
Yeah, and one of the things about this play, it can be even more effective when you run a lot of motion, and there's plenty of times you don't hand it off.
And they'll go jet sweep to try to pick it up. Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there. This defense not budging. Back-to-back carries of just 2 yards.
Well, they tried to catch him by surprise there on 3rd down, but this defense, they were all over the jet sweep.
And it's oftentimes all about what you're doing on the backside of the defense, whether it's the defensive end or the outside backer, who's setting the edge. And if they don't get blown off the line of scrimmage, they can really wreck a play. And in this case, they were able to make the tackle for a loss.
And this is caught for a Cowboy touchdown.
Jalen Tolbert.
He scored on the ground and through the air.
And the Cowboys are closing in on a 3rd straight win as they widen the gap further here in the 4th quarter.
Extra point right down the middle. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
And we see James. He will not return it, and they'll bring it out to the 25.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive.
It's now appearing that this losing streak is going to continue. You know, the coaching staff was confident that this was going to be the game to stem the tide, but that just has not been the case.
And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8. 8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's second and a couple. A give to Barkley out of the gun.
79 yards for him on the ground now on that, his 20th carry of the ball game.
On the draw, this is Barkley. No, bottled up, fumble. It's out, it's loose. It's picked up by the Cowboys. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27. And I don't know that that fumble is going to matter a whole lot. You look at the deficit here in the fourth, it doesn't matter. The coach on the sideline still scratching his head.
Yeah, not only scratching his head, but probably writing a note or two about, we're going to address this come practice next week, because maybe that's the reason we're down this far. Doesn't matter at this point, but being sloppy throughout the game, not going to help him improve.
Coming up on the final 2.5 minutes. And boy, has it been fun to watch this offense operate. Quite the display, and now they look to polish it off.
Prescott now after the fumble recovery.
And a dangerous throw there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
Partner, in the sportsmanship handbook, there's something to be said for calling the dogs off in a blowout. But these defenders, they also know this is the NFL, and it's their job to stop them, whether they're in the game or they're down by a handful of touchdowns.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Play fake. Here's Prescott. The tight end Kittle has it on the left side. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. 19 yards on the pickup there, and now they'll have it 1st and goal.
Well, they have been unstoppable this afternoon, Charles. They just went after them from the start, and pass plays like we just saw, they're continuing their dominance here despite the big lead in the fourth quarter.
And that they have in every way, and plays like that across all phases of the game, they've just been effortless for them in this one. And that's what's helped them build such a large lead and allowed them to smile as this game continues.
And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 2nd and goal now as they look to add a few more points here onto their total. From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
Well, when coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back to the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we have been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive.
Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage, because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games, and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them, both offenses have put up at least 200 yards in a game, but not in this one. This has been a display of offense that, frankly, I think the two of us have watched from behind our hands, trying to spread our fingers.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Darius Slay with a pick. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line.
Another great play defensively. They've been sharp on both sides of the ball, Charles, but that interception means that this defense will very well keep them down to single digits on the scoreboard in this game.
And that's certainly something to smile about, isn't it, partner, if you're on defense? Because your goal every game is to pitch a shutout, but you and I both know that's pretty unrealistic. But to hold a team below double figures in a game, in an NFL game, That's certainly something to take pride in.
Forced out to his left. He rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Brian Poole. And now off to the races, down the right side. And he will bring it back. It's a pick six and a Giants touchdown. Well, part of this defense now with multiple interceptions in this game, but this time they say turnabout is fair play because, remember, they had a pick six on the other side, and now they get a pick six of their own.
Yeah, they actually added to some of their nice play throughout this ball game, and good effort by them to secure another interception on this one. A better effort to take it all the way back for six, and how about an exceptional effort to match their opposition's pick six from earlier in this game.
And they've got it. They recovered it. But hang on now, though. There's a penalty flag down. Yeah, you got to wait until that ball goes 10 yards. They did not. They hit it before, and that draws the flag every time.
And there's no doubt in my mind that converting an onside kick has never been tougher in the NFL with the new rules. So trying to get it to 10 yards, timing up perfectly, that's tough enough to begin with. But when you go ahead and grab it before it goes, you've got no shot then.
Well, Prescott here to throw. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Well, we just saw something you don't ordinarily see, and that's him trying to deep ball after throwing a pick six on his previous pass. Normally, they give him something safe to get his confidence back. Instead, they let him fire it downfield, albeit unsuccessfully.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Prescott now. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. A new set of downs after a strong pickup of 16 yards. Prescott looks to throw on first. That's into the hands of Tolbert. And he's brought down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Prescott to the goal line, but it's incomplete. Well, up big here in the 4th quarter, up really big. That pass and incompletion, I don't think they needed the completion, but Charles, this is an offense right now that they're just having fun. They're clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, you're right. They didn't need a completion. They certainly don't need any more points. But they're not going to turn them down. They're going to continue to run what they have in their playbook, and they still want to run it efficiently.
It's caught. Tolbert. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. And one of the whistles for a timeout. So they'll stop the clock here in a game that's been decided in the closing seconds. So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10. Throwing here, Prescott rolling to his right. And oh, it'll be intercepted. Picked up by the USC man, Adoree Jackson. And the Giants are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. He got out of the pocket there, was wondering what he was going to do with it, but I think he was calling, his receiver was calling for the ball, wasn't he?
He certainly was. The problem, he called for it too late, and when he delivered, they were all over him in the secondary and came up with the interception.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
On second down, here's Barkley. And he'll take this for a short gain on what will prove to be the final play of this ball game.
And as this defense walks off the field, they can do so with their heads held high. What a performance by the offense, too. I mean, really, Charles, just complete domination on both sides of the football here in this one.
Certainly was, and I think both sides compete against each other all the time. You go to each other in practice, obviously your training camps, your off-season. But on game day, you both want to show your best. And I think that's what we saw from both the offense and the defense, a complete team victory.
So for Dallas, they just keep on rolling as they move to 9-2 with a win here. And now they'll have a few extra days here before they face Indianapolis next week. Meanwhile, for the Giants, the problems just get worse and worse as they fall to 2-9 now on the year.
And they will be back home next week for a day.
It's that hate, boy. Yeah, my day ones here to dance at the beginning. So you know it's only right, that's how we end. Came all the way from losing to winning. Yeah, I did it, but it ain't.